from her job as a news anchor because she was unfit for television. Yet, after many years of not giving up, she became a host of a multi-award-winning talk show and the most influential woman in the world, Oprah Winfrey. Have you ever failed in life? Do you feel discouraged to move on again? Then, time to tune into Happy Day, a 15 minutes of motivational talk on OSBC Radio 104.5 FM every Tuesday at 5 a.m. Happy Day. What a wonderful world. From a distance, the world looks blue and green, and the snow kept mountains white. From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of hope. It is the voice of peace. It is the voice of every man. And from a distance, we all have enough. No one is in need, and there are no guns, no bombs, and no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance we are instruments, marching in a common band. Playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. They are the songs of every man. For God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance. Sometimes it can be very encouraging when we are reminded that whatever is going on in life does not affect us alone. There are others that are affected. This happens oftentimes where we are able to hear other people's stories. This is what we do very briefly on the Happy Day Motivational broadcast every morning, Tuesday, 10 minutes past 5. On OSBC Radio 104.5 FM. And I am Benga Famino welcoming you on board. It is the moment you are reminded that there are great people who also go through terrible times. For kings as majestic as they may be can still go into captivity. The fact that they go into captivity does not mean they cannot be free. Giants may be so mighty they still fall asleep. If great, strong people have troubles and challenges, why not you? The fact that you're going through what you're going through doesn't mean it is entirely your fault. Many a times, we are all victims of circumstances. From a distance, we all have enough, and no one is in need. And there are no guns, no bombs, no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. It's at the level of our world, of our lives, that we have problems. The fact that we have problems does not mean we are hopeless. We only need to remember who we are when we do, and we are reminded when we are created to solve problems. Hope will come alive in us again. This morning, it is just a reminder to every one of us who listens that hope is possible despite what we are going through. For on Happy Day broadcast this morning, a terrible history not too far away from us comes back to mind. A history of what happened as far back as 1929 for those of us who are students of history not too far away from us. From this experience and episode on Happy Day broadcast this morning, we are reminded that from a distance, we all have enough, for that is the way the Almighty God sees us. And no one is in need, and there are no guns, there are no bombs, no disease, no hungry mouths to feed. From a distance, we are instruments marching in a common band, playing songs of hope, playing songs of peace. We are the sons of every man. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us from a distance.
From a distance, the ocean meets the stream, and the eagle takes to flight. From a distance, there is harmony, and it echoes through the land. It's the voice of it's the voice of peace. It's the voice of every man.
It was a sudden crisis that turned the world upside down. Millions are thrown out of work. People despair and dread the future. And that was the grim scenario many Americans faced almost a century ago after the 1929 stock market crash triggered the Great Depression, a season many will never forget.
In 1929, years of booming prosperity ended in catastrophe. It was the biggest stock market crash since records began.
It is impossible to underestimate the shock, a sense of stunned disbelief.
First-time investors borrowed huge amounts of money to speculate on the market.
The market broke very sharply, and a lot of people were wiped out with it. It was very painful.
Later, thousands of banks failed. Millions lost everything.
The poverty was really all around us. It was really, really pitiful.
The crash was followed by a depression that spread across the world, lasted for a decade, and was a prelude to war. This is the story of a financial disaster that we hoped would never happen again.
Such was a horrible experience the world had, and we all hope it will never happen again. Such were the times. Families, fathers, mothers, and their children had to queue on the road, queue up to beg for food. It was a time when ordinary loaf of bread that used to be sold for 5 cents was sold for $30. Despite the Great Depression that began by the incidents in 1929, culminating in the World War, there were survivors, and today they live to tell the beautiful stories, simply because they stayed alive. That's exactly what we bring to you this morning. Be reminded, do not forget. From a distance, there is harmony. Even when there is disharmony in your life, that's not the way you are perceived. From a distance, for your Creator has not forgotten you. He watches you. He cares. In your sick bed, He cares. He's watching you. He's only saying, son, do not give up. Daughter, struggle a little more. If only you can survive this time and you live to tell the story, you will celebrate. Robert Court said he set out for college with 1 suit, 1 necktie, 1 pair of shoes, and $30 borrowed from a bank. He called the Depression a painful but a glorious time because it forced America to face long-standing problems of poverty. What a pleasure it was to get a pound of hamburger, which you buy for about 5 cents, take it up to the Union Pacific Railroad tracks and have a cookout and some excellent conversation and maybe swim in the cool river. Horrible experiences. Do not be deceived, especially every time we are all made to feel like Nigeria is the worst place to be. Do not be deceived, especially when you are given the impression that Nigeria is a hopeless place to be. Do not be deceived. There are nations we celebrate today. 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, they were horrible places to be. business. We'll make an effort in the next couple of episodes, reeling out stories of survivors that survived the times. As terrible as our story is in Nigeria, a loaf of bread has not been sold at 10,000 naira. A loaf of bread has not been sold at 5,000 naira. We don't pray it gets to that. As terrible as our story is in Nigeria, fathers, mothers, and their children, we have not got to the stage when government will announce everyone go to the secretariat and go and queue up to collect something to eat. How would you feel if you hear the announcement this morning? Leave your house and go to your local government secretariat and queue for bread because there is nothing to eat. But it happened in the United States of America. Why do we tell so much tales of wars? And we scare one another so terribly that we feel seriously hopeless in this country. Yes, situations are not good, that's true. Things are not what we really want them to be. But remember, even the rich also cries. Remember, there are other places people have survived. If today is bad in Nigeria, make up your mind. You will be alive when the story changes. Make up your mind. You will be among those that will rejoice when the story of Nigeria changes. Do not mind the politicians who have become so fat on Nigeria's crisis. They are human beings. They are not forever. They will soon pass. Something beyond their expectations will happen. And you and I will free one day. We'll be free. The tears that roll down your cheek today because there is no one to help your child to go to school. Remember, it has not got to the stage government will announce, go and queue up for food. People queued up for food in 1929 in the US. May our story never become that bad. But if the country today rules the world, who says Nigeria cannot rule again? Do everything you can to stay alive. Do not kill yourself. Do not commit any suicide. We believe in you. You and I can still make it. We'll take a break. We'll continue next episode as we look at terrible times in the past and stories of survivors. And we encourage one another. We can still make it again. As a new beginning approaches us, we can make it again. For you to be a part of our conversations, we love your suggestions. You can connect us at 003-372-1635. 003-372-1635. Till I come here same time next week. I remain yours. Big Famino is my name. Ambassador of Hope. An agent of hope, if you call it that way. This is wishing you a happy day and a blessed week ahead. Goodbye and God bless.